Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order and we're going to have everybody who's attending virtually. Would you please announce yourselves? So I can mark you as present. Kenyatta, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Hi, Kenyatta Brent. CRNA. Anything else?
No, that's okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Can you hear me? This is Kim Arthur. I'm a CNS.
Thank you.
This is Michelle Reisinger. I'm a family nurse practitioner and psychiatric nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
This is Michaela. I'm a board member. Michaela Heiston, board member.
Yeah.
And this is Charles Macheers, your general counsel.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it, right? Okay.
And Tracy.
Tracy's okay. Now we'll go in the room. Can Tracy Clark, and you are our K-Track representative, our new K-Track representative. And hi, and we have Kelly Fritz, who just joined us. Thank you for being here, both of you, physically. And Amy Hyde, who's the vice chair, is here as well. So we definitely have a board. Okay. So, I'm sorry.
Did you see in the Q&A, there's someone who said they don't have access to their mic?
No, I did not.
Q&A, just FYI, I didn't know if that, you needed to acknowledge that.
Karen Biesenberg, is she supposed to be?
Oh, Kara is, yeah, she's gonna be one of the presenters. She's not a committee member, but she's on the agenda.
So wait until it's time for her.
Yeah, we'll bring you over when we get close to your thing, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the heads up too.
All right, we're going to call the meeting to order and then no review of on-site packet today. Okay, and then we'll go on for any addition revisions to the agenda. Is there any that we are needing to be aware of? No. Okay, any announcements? No announcements. We kind of took liberty with Tracy earlier, so thank you. And then the approval from the minutes from September 10th of 2024. The motion. Do you have a motion to approve the minutes from 2024? Is that it?
I motion that we approve the minutes from 9/10/24. Or is that the wrong date? I'm sorry.
9/10/2024. No, that's the right date.
Who made that, Kenyatta?
Kenyatta.
Okay.
Okay, and then do I have a second?
I'll second that, Melissa. It's Michaela.
Okay, second by Michaela. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any of those who say no? Okay, we're approved those minutes. We didn't approve the agenda. We didn't sing that. Okay. We didn't have an agenda. Okay, so now we'll go on to the consent item agendas, the APRN programs approved for licensure.
Want me to talk about that?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's on page 8 in your packet, and just as a reminder, these are programs in which we've had an applicant. These programs are out of state. So when we have an applicant seeking licensure, we look at these programs if we haven't looked at them recently, just to make sure that they meet all the requirements that we have in Kansas, and you'll see those all listed there. You know, the advanced path hours, we require 3 or above. Advanced health assessment, 3 or above. Advanced farm, 3 or above. Total clinical hours, right now, we require 500. However, the APRN education regs are getting close to being done. And that does go up to $750, so I'll just comment that that's going to be a problem for some of the out-of-state schools, especially the ones that maybe have masters instead of a doctorate. They may have less than $750, so this may be something that we start seeing. And then they need national accreditation. All of these were CCNE, so all of these meet the requirements for, and you don't have to do a motion or anything. It's just kind of information for you.
Okay, and then my only question, Carol, is, since those, regs are getting close to being done, do we send out any notification to the outside schools at all? Or do we just update what we have on the,
We update what we have on the website
Website.
because we don't know what schools are,
gonna come
gonna
in?
have applicants that come. So unfortunately, they'll hear about it when they apply for licensure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna make some of them happy. We run into that right now with the 45 credit hours. Some of them do not have 45. So their option, if they want to be licensed in Kansas, is to take another course or something that will get them up to the 45. Some of them are not happy about it. It's on our website. I mean, and if they call and ask us, if they look at the Nurse Practice Act. Yeah, I mean, we just don't know who they are on these out-of-state schools because they can come from any place to be able to just contact them and say, hey, FYI, we're changing this.
Can we notify the schools that have less than that on their application?
We can, but it doesn't really help the applicant at that point. You see what I'm saying? If the applicant comes in.
Future, it would help their students before they get to the point of being an applicant.
Right. It just wouldn't help the one who's applying now, but we
Right.
could, yeah. Usually we hear about it if they don't meet our requirements because the school's contacting us and we talk to them and stuff like that, so they'll know, like you said. But it doesn't, and there's no grace period with those APRN education regs, so once they become effective, that $750 is gonna be effective. That way.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for that clarification, greatly appreciated. And then we're gonna move on to number 2, the final review for APRN, all 4 roles. And can we do one motion for
Yeah,
all
it would be part of the consent
Okay.
agenda motion. If
part
you
of the
want.
consent? Okay,
These are what you talked about
Last
last time. Yeah,
okay. So we have, part A, APRN, all of our 4 roles, licensed for the mill, we have standard licensure, temporary permit to practice, expiration date of licenses, applications, exempt license. And then we have the nurse practitioner for the functions of the advanced practice registered nurse, and the role of the nurse practitioner, as well as prescription orders, and then the nurse midwife, functions of the advanced practice registered nurse, and the role of the nurse midwife. And then the clinical nurse specialist, the functions of the advanced practice registered nurse, and the role of clinical nurse specialist, nurse anesthetist. So then, sure, I'm sorry.
Can we make a comment on something? I know we've already went through part of this before, but if you make a comment. Which one is the one that, okay, prescription, is it the prescription ordered one? I just wanted to put it out there that so 6011-104A, where, number 2, A2, prescribe, procure, and administer any drug consistent with the licensee's specific role and population focus, except any drug that is intended to cause an abortion. So I just want to state that the wording of abortion in that is probably a legal term of abortion, not a medical term of abortion. And I have problems with the fact that those don't always match up right. Because on the medical side, it's a missed abortion, an incomplete abortion, but there are a lot of other things, and there can be medications that are needed for those things that somebody not understanding medicine or midwifery or nursing. I know it's probably not going to change anything. I just think that every chance we get, we need to people who write the laws that we have to follow know that there are semantic problems with some of the things that they do.
Yes, I do understand your concerns about, does that change anything that we do here? Because we still need this.
I actually, I don't have much practice, but I believe that's the terminology right out of that statute that was changed.
Given to you, yeah.
So, we're not, probably not going to be able to change the terminology and stuff in the reg if it's not what's in the statute.
Right.
I mean, I could certainly ask questions, but otherwise it would require a statute change.
Expected that, but I just think it needs to be brought up every time that is
Okay.
shown as a problematic thing.
Well, I can
For you.
certainly ask the question.
Hi, sorry, this is Kim. Arthur, that was one of the questions I had, especially like in the form of methotrexate for tubal pregnancies and who's administering that medication because it's not viable and kind of because I don't know who typically does it in Kansas. But I don't know who administers that medication here for tubal pregnancies, and that was kind of one of the things that sort of triggered me with are we putting someone in a bad position?
I'm trying to find my words. So in saying that, we definitely would have to have things changed across the street. Is that correct?
I could check, but I know this terminology in this reg is, I'm almost positive it's straight out of the statute.
Straight out of
So
statute.
I don't know if we can change it in any way. I can certainly ask the question because the regs we could change, yes. But if it requires a statute change, yes, that has to come from the legislature.
From across the street. So, okay, so we can definitely clarify
Yeah,
that
I'll
point.
do that.
And then let's clarify that point to see, I do appreciate you bringing it up as a point of reference. And see if there is kind of where that sits and who that falls upon. Is that a fair?
Oh, yeah, I
Is that
just,
a fair ask?
to increase awareness. that
Oh, yes,
these things are
absolutely.
wrong.
So I'll bring that back in March,
In March. Okay,
whatever I find out.
no, thank you for bringing that up, and I do appreciate that. So, we'll just get that point of clarification. Was there any other, other ones that I listed? Sorry, I went through kind of fast. I apologize about that. Didn't realize there'd be questions.
Is 107 supposed to be just clinical nurse specialist, or is it supposed to be clinical nurse specialist and nurse anesthetist? Because on the motion, it has them. Clinical nurse specialist, nurse anesthetist, and I think it's only supposed to be CNS.
Yeah. CNS.
I think it's correct.
Oh.
On the agenda, but on the motion, it's.
Okay. We'll just mark through it. Okay.
Would you like a motion to approve?
Yes. Are there any other questions? And then we can move on to approving what we do have and what we have. Right here. Anything else? Virtually? No. Okay, then we'll go ahead and. Sorry, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Well, and this, I think this is gonna be part of what, somebody else is gonna say later, but 60-9-106. I think there could be just some discussion about some additions to C1. But I think one of the outside people who's.
What page are you looking at?
Page 41,
41.
the bottom of page 41.
60-9. 106.
See,
Acceptable C and E
Mhm.
may include any of the following, is that
Mhm.
the one you're looking at?
Because I know there's an additional organization that nurse midwives would like on there. I don't know if there might be additional organizations that other specialties might want on there. But wait a second, this is approval, this is not, sorry.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Just remember that this is talking about whether we're going to revoke it and stuff.
Yeah.
You
Sorry.
can pull them out if you want changes, if you want to talk about revisions and stuff, but that's a little bit different than this whole regulation review for revocation and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's okay. I know everybody gets them confused, but
Yes. We need them all.
it's okay. Everybody does.
Keeping us on our toes. Okay, all right, so we'll look for a motion to approve the, for the consent agenda items. Tracy made the motion. Amy, seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All those, who do not approve, say no. Okay, the ayes have it, and we'll move for these to be approved. Okay. Okay, unfinished business. Number one, the prescription monitoring program PMP committee report.
I've been to one committee meeting, and I don't have anything to report.
Well, thank you. There's a new leader, and you said the name.
I don't remember the name.
Oh, the name. Okay, but there's
I
somebody
can find
new.
it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here.
In my part.
Okay. And then number two, update on CNM-I regulations. Carol.
The best I can do, I sent an email asking about the two that are still out there left. And have not gotten a response from the Board of Healing Arts, because remember, these are the ones that for the nurse midwife independent, where they're licensed as a nurse midwife with us, but they also have to have a license through the Board of Healing Arts for the independent part. And we're supposed to be doing these regs together. This has been, I don't know how many years in the process. There's still two regs out there that, to my knowledge, have not been approved and have not come to us for years to even look at. So I don't have anything new to tell. I send an email and I ask the question. Oh, yeah.
Found a fourth person for you. Tercia German.
Can you email me that? Okay.
So do we have all the board positions filled?
We have 4.
Kara, Jamie, Chrissy Summers, wasn't she on there? On your
I
list?
think so, yeah.
And Tercia German. She's a nurse midwife in Parsons.
Yeah, just send me her contact information and I'll get in touch with her. I don't know if they ever meet, but what we're supposed to do is have 4 representatives.
Okay,
And so we would meet our part, but whether they meet or not, that's up to the Board of Healing Arts, since it's their advisory committee.
Were you able to find how many are?
I also sent that request, is that they let me know the ones that actually have that, and I've not heard. I was in hopes I wouldn't have to do a core request for a very small number of people. Because they gave it to me the last time,
Because in June, number 9.
yeah. And don't they renew their that license? Is it September? Was it September?
I'm not sure. But 3 or 4 of those on that list that you gave me in June. Well, one of them said she definitely wasn't gonna renew it, and she didn't think that her other former coworkers were gonna renew theirs.
That was truly before they got full practice authority here 2 years ago. So I've had some of them tell me that they actually can do more through their license with us now. So, I will continue to see if I can get that information out of them. I don't know how to find it on their website, truthfully.
I had trouble too.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
put in names that I knew were, and it just wasn't.
They don't have like a license verification thing like we do.
They have a license verification thing, but they don't have a category for CNMI. And so you
Alright.
just kind of have to put a name in there and hope it pops up.
That is-
And it doesn't consistently do that.
Not at all, sorry. My husband's a doctor. Dealt with all that.
Well, I will continue to try to get that information, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your help. Okay, regulation review process to be completed by March 2025. We have 11 out of 20 completed. And then we need to do the approval. Oh,
You've
sorry.
actually got those after what you did on the consent agenda,
Okay,
so you're done.
so we're done with those. Okay, so we're on to new business. Is that correct? Okay. All right, so new business, CNN, continuing
This is
education.
where Kara needs to be
Kara,
brought
who's
across.
on it?
You bring her over, cool.
Yep.
Speaking.
Hi all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. I am a part of the Nurse Midwifery Advisory Council, so I can tell you that the last meeting I have on my calendar is from 11/2 of 2023, if you're interested in when we last met. So hi everyone, it's great to see so many great colleagues and friends there. I'm Kara Busenhart. I'm a certified nurse midwife and direct the midwifery education program at the University of Kansas, and am in a leadership role in our affiliate for the American College of Nurse Midwives, which is our statewide professional or nationwide professional organization and the Kansas affiliate. I also have previously served on this committee that you all are serving on for 2 terms. So thank you for your service to the state. I asked for this agenda item because we have had multiple members of our organization report back that they have not had CE approved. That was through the American College of Nurse Midwives and when they were doing their relicensure. And so they have been told that it was not an approved body to do so. When I look on the State Board of Nursing website, when I try to look at statute and regulation, I see that the CE can be approved by ANCC or the Nurse Anesthesia Association. And trying to find a list of other approved entities is quite hard, but I see that ACNM is not approved. In the regulations, I believe it says that AMCB can, and that is our certifying body for certification, but they are not the grantor of CE. They approve different entities that will accept CE for our recertification process, which occurs every 5 years. And there's a list that includes like nurse practitioners in women's health and the American Academy of Family Physicians and so forth, all in addition to the American College of Nurse Midwives, which also has a formal process for reviewing CE. And I've actually sat on that committee and reviewed CE for many years. And it does have to go beyond the core competencies of nurse midwifery practice. So I just was hoping that we could potentially list ACNM or be more explicit in that if they are approved by AMCB as the certifying body, these organizations that provide CE would also be approved to provide the CE for nurse midwifery practice in the state of Kansas.
Does anybody have any questions? Is there some, Carol, is there some?
Can I just ask a question, Kara?
Yeah.
So if I'm understanding what it says in 60-9-106, it has the American Midwifery Certification Board. So you want something in addition to that, or you want something in place of that? I'm trying to track. I'm sorry.
Well, so AMCB issue the CE. So what has happened is when people have submitted their CE or been audited, if it says it's from ACNM, which AMCB will approve as CE for recertification, it just isn't being approved by KSBN staff when they go to renew their licensure. So either being more explicit that anyone that is approved for AMCB credit that they approve, or that we list ACNM more specifically because they are the provider, and they give the, provider number and so forth on any CE certificates.
Like AANP, you get CEs here, but the ANP board certification doesn't issue CEs. So that's what they need it replaced.
So you probably need this ACNM added in addition to what's here. Is that what you're saying?
I think that would be more,
easier?
that would be more clear and would be who most of us get our CE credit from, for like at our professional organization meetings and so forth.
Is there any, what additional steps do we have to go through?
Actually, what I could bring back in March is just a revision of this to add that. And if it's okay with this committee, then in March, then it would go to the board and they would give me direction to start it through the process. I can tell you though, it's not going to happen overnight once it starts through the process, because I would hope it wouldn't meet much opposition, because all we're doing is adding to here. But it has to go through the Department of Administration to be approved. And then it has to go to the Attorney General's office to be approved. And again, just the fact that we're adding one person or one addition here, I don't think, it's not like we're changing a whole lot here. And then if it's approved there, then let me see, the economic impact statement has to go to the Division of Budget, which again, wouldn't be anything to KSBN. Wouldn't make any economic impact to us by adding that. And then it has to be published in the Kansas Register. And then we have to go into a 60-day comment period in which we publish public hearing date that's past that 60 days, but it has to be published in the Kansas Register. And that 60 days is when anybody can send comments to me, positive, negative, whatever. And then we have the public hearing, and someone can also give comments there, or they can send them to me ahead of time, either way. And then all those comments that we have received go back to the next board meeting so that the board can review those. And then the board makes, and I present over to the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules and Regs during that 60-day comment period also. And the fact that we're just adding something I would think would be a big thing. And then all of this goes back to the board. They see all the comments and everything, and then they make the final decision whether they're approving it or not approving it. If they approve it, then it has to be published in the Kansas Register, and then it becomes effective 15 days after publication. So you see, this doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, about 12 to 18 months from now, it sounds like.
I could say 12, because this isn't what you're talking a big change here.
Right.
So I would have hopes that it would flow through pretty good, but I would say, yeah, probably around 12 months, 9 to 12 months.
Well, we would appreciate it. I know that's a lot of hoops to jump through for something so simple, but it really would be helpful.
I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, basically, we just have the wrong name there. We
Right.
put the wrong name. That
Right.
board doesn't certify. We
Right.
put the right name.
right. So, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a problem or anything.
Well, if we're going to jump through these hoops, can we add the National Association of Clinical Nurse Specialists on there as well? Because we are not, they don't accept our certifying our stuff either.
The same thing where it's the wrong board listed.
They
So
don't
I'll
even
take
have
it.
our board on there. Yeah.
If it's okay with you, if like Kara sends me the information that she wants on there, and I'm sorry, whoever is talking,
Kimberly.
Kimberly, if you just send me an email about the information, exactly how you want it listed there, I can bring those revisions back in March. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great.
Does anybody
Thank
have any issue? I don't personally, so.
And we have representatives from all the specialties here to.
So you have CRNAs.
Yes.
You have
CRNAs,
nurse midwives, you have
Yeah,
nurse
it's a
practitioner,
CRA.
you have CNF,
Okay.
so you should.
I'm wondering if we need to double check all of, I mean, it's number one on 60-9-106, under B, or no, I'm sorry, under C, just to make sure all of those are correct and we don't need to expand any others.
Yeah, because we have certification boards for some of these, but not all of them. Cause like we have pediatric nursing certification board. So if the certification board is a problem on some of them, it may be a problem on all of them. I don't know.
Right, usually the certification board just gives you your, okay, you passed your AANP certified, you know. And then their other organization is the one, I know this because I do a lot of CE stuff. But the other organization is the one that grants the CE approval, so it's just, I think it's just a misnomer.
So are you saying that maybe the certification board terminology or language should come off from here and a different one be put in that actually grants the CE?
I don't know of any certification boards that approve CE, do you? Anybody?
This is Kara. Our certifying boards require CE, and the CE that they require is typically from, like for us, it's the American College of Nurse Midwives. It sounds like for the CNS, it's their professional organization. I understand why the certifying boards were listed there because that's straight of like, if you are certified, you are maintaining your CE typically. But it just sounds like the professional organizations that are the grantors of CE or the providers of CE need to be listed.
Maybe I can do a little work. Trying to figure all this out, because I'd like to, when we make the change, I'd like to get it right and include everything that we need to while we're doing it. So.
Do we have anyone like PEDS, because it says PEDS certification board also, and I don't know that.
So I can do something,
Okay.
research. Okay, I'll bring that back in March and you can look at it in March if that would be okay.
How does that sound to the committee? We can look at everything in March and we'll try to get this cleaned up a little bit, so where it's more applicable to all of the nursing that we have in the state.
Yeah, because we want it right.
Yeah. We're not right, we want everybody to keep their license. We want everybody practicing at the state. So, okay, so we'll look into that and make sure that there's some type of different things we can add in making sure everybody is in this year-long process, everybody's wrapped up in one. All right, we can definitely get that started and come back and visit that in March. Anything else, Kara? No? Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. All right, so now we're on to the agenda for March, which that'll be number one. Updating the organizations for the approval of the CNEs for recertification. And then we'll get an update from K-Trax. If she has one, Tracy will join us again if she has one. Is there anything else we should be including on the agenda?
I will just continue to see if I can find out something about CNMI. And now that we have all of our representatives, I don't know that that's the problem, that they weren't meeting. So.
Okay. And then we should be done with our regulation review and process.
You're done.
We're done after today. Okay. And then, okay, then that'll leave us a very short agenda for March. Yeah. Does anybody else have anything else to add in the committee for the agenda? Okay. All right, if there's no further ado, then I guess we can close the meeting, and thank you all for participating, and I'll see everybody back in March.